been like 1,000 years since I have filmed a Q&A, life update, and woo, there's been a lot of changes, doll. There's been a lot of changes, let me tell you. I just love a sit down, honest chat, Q&A, and I appreciate you guys sending me messages on my Instagram. Would you ever start your own podcast? Absolutely. I've literally wanted to do it for years. I remember when podcasts first like came around, I was like, oh my God, I would love to do this. Do like radio or podcasting, or not necessarily TV hosting or like, you know, journalism or anything like that. I'm not like that well spoken, and I'm not super academic, and I just ramble a lot of the time. So I think in a professional setting, I wouldn't be very good, but a podcast would be the perfect place for that. Me and my friend were actually talking about doing one. She's amazing. I'm seeing her tomorrow actually, and we have to talk about it in detail because I think there's a lot of things to consider, because the type of podcast I would want to do would be exposing everything about myself, because my favorite kind of podcasts are ones that are really rogue. The ones I listen to now are like Abby Chatfield's. There's also Girls Gotta Eat. There's 2 American comedians. I love that one. And there's this one called Do You Effing Mind by Alexis. So I just love them. Are you still friends with Millie? Always. I adore that woman. She has a special place in my heart. I love her so much, and she's been such an incredible, supportive friend, our whole friendship. And I feel like Millie is the type of person that puts other people and other beings, like animals and people, before herself. And she just cares so much about other people's happiness. She's so giving, so sweet, so caring. She really cares. She's like, I've never really met anyone like her. So she will be my friend forever, and she has such a special place in my heart. So yes, of course, I'm still friends with her. Is there someone else in your life at the moment? No, obviously I've only been single for a little bit, which I'm sure most of my questions here are about that. I'll go into that in a sec. Hanging out, doll. What is your lash routine? This is so interesting. I always get like questions about my lashes. I think because I wear like a makeup most of the time, I put a lot of mascara on, I get my makeup done, so there's a lot of glue and stuff. So pretty much this is the Ordinary's multi-peptide lash and brow serum. So I've been using this for a few weeks. It is incredible. Pretty much you just put it morning and night on your lash line and then on your eyebrows, and it is so good. It just makes my lashes look so much thicker, like the look of my lashes and my eyebrows. It's the first eyelash serum where my eyelids are not reactive, because I have really sensitive eyelids. The reason being is because they have tailored this lash serum to match your natural pH levels on your eyelids, which I never would have even thought of, and that's probably why other serums have been so reactive with me. Like, I've used other serums and my eye has like blown up and been like rashy. I've had to use like steroid cream to fix it. So this is the first one I've been using, and it's not reacted with my skin. Very little irritation, if not any. I personally don't have any, and I have really sensitive eyelids. So pretty much what happened was The Ordinary on TikTok, they had this multi-peptide hair serum for your hair density, and it went viral. There was like over 1.6 million like searches about it, so you guys should look it up as well. And it was for your hair, and there was such a high demand because people were like, is it going to work for my eyelashes and my eyebrows? There needs to be a product for that. So then The Ordinary scientists stepped in and created this for your eyelashes and eyebrows. And also because of the high quality of the product as well, you would expect it to be super expensive, but it is not. Like, all the lash serums I have bought have been like I'm not kidding, 200 Australian dollars. This is $24.60 AUD. Bargain, if you ask me. You should 100% try it out yourself. It's super easy to use, and the best thing I love is vegan formula, cruelty free. Amazing. So that is how I keep my eyebrows and eyelashes so healthy. Okay, this question is, do you speak French? So my first language was French, and I don't speak it now. I'm not fluent. Like, I still know things here and there, but like, yeah, I'm not fluent. Is that really bad? So like, my parents just spoke French to me growing up. Like, when I say growing up, maybe until like 3. I think I went to preschool, couldn't speak English because it's like one or the other. This is what I mean, I'm not super academic. So one or the other, doll. And I didn't want to be different as well. Like, I hated being different. Now I'm like, I would love to be the most different, max different. But at the time, I just wanted to be the same girl that everyone was at school. I just wanted to be a hybrid of everyone else, which is so crazy, but I feel like that always happens when you're a kid. And yeah, I didn't want to speak French, couldn't really speak English properly, and then I completely dropped French and only spoke English, and I refused to speak French because I was like, no. Hey, let's be real. I already knew most of the questions were gonna be about me and my breakup. So pretty much this is my thoughts on talking about it on YouTube and publicly. I think, like, you know, there's things that I'm so happy to talk about, my experience and me as a person in the relationship, me as a person outside of the relationship. But I'm not gonna go into like nitty gritty personal information because, you know, there's always two sides to every story. So when the other person isn't there to explain their side of things, or, you know, talk about little details or things they may have said, it's kind of unfair. So I'm not really gonna talk that much in detail of what happened, but I'll still be really honest where I can be honest. And to be honest, the main reason I wanna share my experience is, well, obviously everyone's asking it, but I also want to share it because maybe you're in a similar situation where you're in a relationship and you know, are so besotted by this person and you're so in love with this person, but deep down you kind of know it's not right, and you can choose yourself. On Instagram and everything, I so heavily was pushing, choose yourself, choose happiness. At the end of the day, it's not saying that Joshua's a bad person at all. You have to find the strength in yourself to do what's best for you. That's what I really mean, and that's what I want to talk about today as well. Obviously, like, I know that he did a podcast and there was something said that didn't actually come out of my mouth, and I think that's why it's really important to speak on your own experience, because you can't speak on behalf of someone else because there's details you may have forgotten, or there's ways that someone say something that you could interpreted differently than what they meant. Firstly, just to clear this up, I would never ever tell someone that I'm not in love with them anymore. And to be fair, I was still in love with Josh when we broke up, and it was a very, very hard decision. So yes, I just wanted to say, because now I have a position where I can share that. That was misunderstood, and I never said that, and I was in love with Josh, but there was parts of me that were mentally checked out, but emotionally, of course, I still really loved him. And yeah, that's my experience. Most of these questions are, do you miss Josh? How are you coping mentally? What's happening with you and Josh? So what's the tea between you and Joshy? No one cheated. It was not a situation like that. So yeah, don't worry, there's no like heavy tea. It's just, we were very, very different people from my perspective, and this is only from my perspective. So let's remember that, because I don't want to misconstrue anything that the other party might think. Anyway, what I want to share is that I've shocked myself so much post the relationship. Pretty much when we first got in a relationship, I obviously was watching on the outside. You know, we got together from reality TV show, and he was the first guy I was interested in. When I saw his promo videos, pretty much the producers call you every day when you're on standby. He's my favorite. I'm most interested in him. He's really funny, blah, blah, blah. Then watching him as the series went on, I was like, oh my God, I really like him, like as the rest of Australia did. I was like, yeah, he's the one. Like, I love his personality, he's really funny and blah, blah. So going into that experience, I don't know if people have ever realized this, but you know, and watching them for weeks and potentially going on there to be with them, you put them on a really high pedestal. And for a long time, I really did. And I'm not to say that he isn't an amazing person, he is, but it was very unbalanced. No matter who it was, like if it was someone else, but I naturally put someone on a pedestal, and that was such a big issue early on. You know, even when I came out of the show, there was guys that would come up to me in clubs and be like, you're punching, you're so lucky. All these girls were like, oh my God, you're so lucky to be with him. And like, you know, it made me feel like a piece of shit. And I did feel really lucky to be with him, of course. It was like I was here in my brain and he was there, which it shouldn't be for anyone. Like, no one should ever feel like that. And it wasn't his fault at all. it was the whole situation, and it was also a lot of my problem. Naturally, I feel like I just, you know, put someone on this hectic pedestal and I think they're the best thing in the world, which they're amazing, but it's not balanced and it's not good for you. There was certain moments where I just didn't know my worth, and I would let things slide or let red flags go. Not saying he's a walking red flag, but I'm saying there's parts of me and Josh that didn't mesh, and we were completely on different ends of opinions, and that is okay. But if it's important to you and you can't move past it, it's just probably not going to work. If you're just so different in your love languages and things like that, it's just not going to work. So those are the red flags I'm talking about. And the past year or so, I got to a place where I was like, we are just such different people. Not find a level, it's not balanced. So yeah, if you told me a year ago I would be single and I wouldn't be with Josh, I wouldn't believe you, because I would have never thought I would have found the strength to leave something that wasn't right for me, because I love that person so much. And it's just crazy to me that I chose myself over love and that other person. Like, it's not in my natural character to do that. It was a really, really hard decision. It's so sad to like think, but we just like weren't supposed to be together. I think the main thing is like why I wanted to share a little bit is just like to think that the little girl that like first went into that relationship is like so different now. And like, if you're in any situation where you feel like, you know, it's not balanced, or you feel like you can't choose yourself, or you feel like you're not like worthy of love, or you're not worthy of that person's if you're like, whoa, what the hell? Fuck, I actually am shocked that I'm crying. I haven't cried in like since we broke up. That was the last time I cried, which was like 2 months ago. Yeah, I think the main lesson here is, if something doesn't feel right, and if you're putting your morals aside or your values aside, and you're kind of, you know, there's some non-negotiables you need from a partner, from a friendship, from anything, and if you're not getting that, you can't just sit there. That's what I freaking wish I did, but it's fine. And overall, he's an amazing person. He has so many qualities. He is really caring, easygoing, and he just wants to have a good time. He's very realistic, and there's so many amazing qualities. And when I look back at the relationship, there were some really amazing times. And if they're your non-negotiables, you can never go past that. Like, it just, no matter how hard you try, you know, we got a counselor involved and we did all these things, and there was just some things that just weren't clicking. And I know it's really hard to figure out when it's not on. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a relationship expert. I would just say go to a counselor. So yes, I hope that answered, I mean, all these questions. It's like why and stuff like that. I hope you're doing okay. And yeah, I am really doing okay. I'm doing a lot of like traveling, a lot of spending time with friends, and yeah, I feel like I'm living my life for myself. And you know, I am aware, and I'm really self-conscious in a way. I don't want it to come across insensitive, or like that I'm just celebrating a breakup. I'm not celebrating at all. Not that anyone said this to me, but I do feel a bit guilty posting like that I'm doing this, or I'm traveling here, I got booked on this trip. I feel guilty. It's really bizarre. But you know, I think at the end of the day, life is so short. You have to do your life for you, and if people are going to judge you for it, you just have to be okay with it. And at the end of the day, they never know what really happened. Like, I went into that relationship at 22, I'm now 26, and I'm like, wow, like that went like this, and I feel like such a different person. What is your job? So at the moment, full-time like social media, so I do like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, mainly Instagram. But yeah, that's my full-time job. I want to start a business. I'm thinking like a vegan, I have a few vegan ideas. Obviously I've been vegan for like 10 years, so, or like maybe a fashion label, I don't know, we'll see. But at the moment, I feel like this year is the year of like rediscovering myself as a lone wolf and just, you know, living the best life. When will you be ready for another relationship? I think everyone's different. I don't know. I don't think there's a right timing. It's whenever you feel it's right. But I think, you know, it's important to not rush anything. I was talking to my psychologist today. We were just talking about like rushing things, like slow things down, you know? That is enough of questions for me for the day. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, I usually do like little Q&As on my Instagram. And if you guys want to purchase that lash and eyebrow serum, I'll link it below. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope that answered a bit of your questions. I know so many people are asking me about it, and I wanted to share my experience. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. I also do TikTok now, so go on my TikTok, go on my Instagram. And yeah, thanks for being so sweet to me as well. No one's like, I was scared people were gonna like attack me after the breakup. It's a scary thing, like having a public breakup, so everyone's been really respectful, so thank you. And yeah, bye.